Shalom, following the shore. Welcome again to the rock. Sorry for the bad lighting, but it is what it is. Um, I had one question. We there are a lot of good discussions that are taking place, and I'm getting some emails as we talk about the things that are happening in this world. And I did have a question that was posed to me that a person kind of wanted to know. And I decided, I kind of posted here, kind of give everybody else an opportunity to chime in. With what you are seeing in the world, the decline of morality, the sin, the food shortages, the violence, all those different things that we see taking place today in the world, what advantages does living in the city provide over living, I would say city or the suburbs? What advantage do they have over living, I guess you could say out here, way out here, way out here in the country? Um, and this question was posed to me, as a person was trying to make the decision of staying in the city and versus coming out. And I could have just said, the Bible says, "Come out of her, my people," which the Bible does say. But a lot of times people think relocating is the full process of coming out. So I don't like to say coming out of her means just relocating, because a lot of people relocate and they still haven't come out of her. They still are, have a systemic mindset. They still believe in the system. They still believe in the foundations, I would say, of the country. And when I read "come out of her," I read "come out of her" meaning not just the physical relocation, but the coming out of her mentally, physically, spiritually, psychologically, financially, in every way. So a lot of people relocate, but they don't fully come out because they still have that system, this country, and, we can, reclaim this country and we can rebuild it. You ain't come out of her yet then. When Israel came out of Egypt, one of the biggest problems that Israel had is that they kept that mindset of Egypt. So, Pac, be quiet. So, hold on one second. Sorry about that. So every time, that's the mindset that people have when it comes to coming out of her. So I didn't want to use just "come out of her," because a lot of people are just relocating. But I mean, what actual benefits and gains do you get from the process of relocation into the country, way out here, that you get over living in the city? And I think this is a good discussion that we can have, because a lot of people, well, there's no jobs out there. Well, the closest store is, 40 minutes away, and I got to go to the store. And I think one of the things that really happens, and it really shows, is that when you move out here, it takes a lot more planning. It takes a lot more prudence. It takes a lot. You have to think. Mistakes out here, I would say, in some areas are hidden, and in other areas are greatly amplified. Like if a lot of people go shopping when they go to the grocery store. They go 3-4 times a week to go, to get the things that they need. Well, when you live out here, you're not driving to the store 4 times a week. You may be going once every 2 weeks, once every month, which means you have to kind of develop systems, and you have to organize yourself in a way that you're not going to be dropping and spending gas to be running, to the store because you forgot, to get whatever, a gallon of milk. Also, you realize when you live out here, a lot of your groceries are going to come from on your land. Your eggs, your milks, your meats, your vegetables. A lot of those things are just going to come from your land because you're going to grow it. That's a lot different than it is in the city, where your eggs, your vegetables, your milks are going to largely come from your grocery store. So just based on what you're seeing, as far as crime, as far as the ability to protect yourself, as far as the ability to live a quiet and peaceable life, grow your own food, security, what advantages would you say living out here in the country has over living in the city? I hear the city people, they talk about, the conveniences. Well, the good restaurants are here. And I mean, and I've heard that argument before, because everybody knows I live out here. I live out way out here. So I'm obviously, what I've done, what I live, what I do shows my choice. Um, and I eliminated the excuses. Because, you hear some people in the city say, well, I would love to do that, but. Well, I eliminated the buts. And it was painful. And it hurt. But I had to eliminate the buts. Because those buts were preventing me from, and I'll use it, coming out of her fully, mentally, spiritually, physically, everything else. Because I wanted this. I knew it was in the Bible and I wanted it. And I wanted to come out fully, not just a relocation. I wanted to come out fully, not just come out and grow some, vegetables and everything like that. Not just the physical parts. I wanted to do the spiritual and the mental parts of coming out of her. But a lot of people they make the excuses. I have this over here. I have a good job, or I have, my family or stuff like that. And I understand, I've gone through similar things, losing family. Everything that I knew was in cities. I mean, everything that I have ever known was in these cities. So coming out of it was different. And then changing the mindset was different. It was very different. So I don't want to keep rambling on. I just wanted to pose this question so that many other people can hear what others have to say in their transitions. What benefits you all on this channel have seen and felt and experienced from your transitions from living in the cities to living out here in the countries. I mean, one of the nicest things is what I've ever experienced is, where I am is, I used to be a guy that had to travel, 45 minutes to an hour away to get to an area, to get to a mountainous area where you could shoot. Well, now I don't have to. I just go outside my front door. So I just want to, I hope that this causes some conversation, and I hope that this helps others who are thinking about making the transition. I hope it really poses the question to them, and that they'll read some of these comments and be able to say, "Hey, I didn't think about that, and I didn't think about that," because I didn't want to give my answer. It's easy for me to give my answer, but I wanted somebody else to give their answer. For those of you who have made it, and if you believe in the city, post why you believe the city is above living out here in the country. All right, I think that just be kind of an interesting dialogue. All right, bless y'all. Shalom.